Welcome back to the OKC Foodcast, your guide to the food in Oklahoma. I'm joined by a very special guest today, Brian Bogert with the Social Order. I think you can call him the main conspirator of the Social Order.
one of many, but yes.
One of many now.
yes.
But before we get into everything that Brian's done in the Social Order, quick shout out to our sponsor, Walt 405 here in downtown Edmond, for providing us this space to record this podcast. If you're looking to record your own podcast, or if you just need a place to work, check out Walt 405 in downtown Edmond, powered by Citizens Bank. All right, Brian, before we start, let's talk about the favorite thing you ate recently.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the self-nom, even though that might be taboo, but we just rolled out a new menu at the Jones Assembly, and I have a couple of favorites.
Okay.
I love the tostada on the starter menu. It's like a red masa tortilla that we make in-house. It's got kind of like a poke style tuna, avocado. It's awesome. And then also the butter chicken pizza is new on our menu that our chef Patrick kind of dreamed up, and it's like just delicious. But non-social order, I am obsessed with Zam Zam. It opened right by our office. I love Mediterranean food. The people that, are in there are great, super friendly, and the food's awesome, and it's walking distance to my office. So just before I came here, I had their kind of chicken Philly pita with hummus, and it was 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I know when they opened down Broadway.
Yeah, Broadway, yep.
I had their bowl and some of the other stuff, and their food's always good. I used to go to their location
in
39.
Bethany. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. My favorite thing, it's really the start of the week. So I actually just had a bagel from Old School Bagel.
Oh, nice.
My go-to order is a jalapeno cheddar bagel with cream cheese toasted.
Nice.
And it's just so good.
Yeah, it's a classic spot. I've been eating there since high school. It's a great spot.
Yeah. And now they've got a bunch of locations, which is really cool to see.
Yeah. Tons.
I just love how like these Oklahoma restaurants or establishments are starting to grow and have multiple locations and really make a footprint in Oklahoma. Kind of like what you're doing.
Trying to, yes.
What a segue.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. Okay, so take us back to the beginning. How did this all start? Were you always into food? Is this something that you always wanted to do?
I definitely have always been into food. I would say kind of my core competency or core skill is sort of creating experiences, planning events, and just helping people create memories. And food for me is, kind of a core component to that. I grew up at the age of 15. I started working in a kitchen and just kind of immediately fell in love with kind of the full circle, the guest experience, taking the order, cooking the food, and then providing hospitality and kind of providing that experience. So I've always loved that. And after college, I went to work for like a large management consulting company in Dallas. And my good friend from college was working for an advertising group. And neither of us were built for kind of the, corporate 8 to 5 or really 8 to 8 world in that time in Dallas. And he also had similar experiences growing up in the restaurant industry. So we just decided to kind of take a shot at it. And our favorite restaurant in college was a place called Texadelphia. And so we contacted them and said, hey, we want to open one in Oklahoma. And so I convinced, his name's Manny LeClaire, convinced him to move back to Oklahoma City. We opened our first location in 2003 in Norman. Okay. And we learned everything not to do when opening a restaurant at that location. But it was like the perfect kind of spot for us to learn, how to give great hospitality, how to plan experiences, make experiences, and really just the ins and outs of the restaurant world, because either I was taking an order and Manny was cooking, or vice versa. I was doing the books. Like, we learned every possible restaurant the hard way that we could without location. And it was a foundation for everything we did from that point on.
Yeah, kind of got you started.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, even for me, like, I feel like that's the best way to learn. Probably not the most efficient way to learn, but, you do it, you're like, wait, okay, that didn't work, so let's try things a little different. You can let your creativity come into that, some of the problem-solving skills, and yeah. Okay, so Texadelphia, and then now how many locations strong are we in terms of like the whole order?
So we've opened, I believe, like close to 23 restaurants since we started. We sold our Texadelphia rights and locations back to the franchisor. So those locations we no longer own and operate, but we have 10 Fuzzies taco shops, 4 Dave's Hot Chicken, 3 Sparks, and the Jones Assembly. So what's that? 18? We have 18 restaurants that we own and operate now.
Nice. Yeah. And then out of those, Jones and Spark are like social order originals. Yes,
those are our original concepts. We created those from the ground up with the goal of just doing what we've done from the beginning, which is finding like sort of a niche that we felt was missing in Oklahoma City and trying to create something that's more than just like a transactional like food purchase, but more like, okay, there's an experience. There's things going on. You go there for your important, moments in life, and you don't just get in, get out, but you stay and have an experience and make memories with your friends, family.
Yeah. I mean, I remember Jones opened up in 2017.
2017, yes.
What is now the West Village District.
Yes.
Which used to be just called Film Row.
Yep.
Which I still call it Film Row.
I do too.
It's changed now.
Yeah, I do too.
But when it first opened, I don't think there was anything quite like that in Oklahoma.
Sure.
Like the indoor-outdoor patio, the build-out of it, the fact that the restaurant converted into like a music venue. The frosé all day.
Yes. We just survived that last weekend. So, yeah.
And then I know with the Thunder playoffs, y'all had some epic watch parties as well.
Yes.
How did that idea of the Jones come to life? Like that's a big project.
Big project.
Yeah.
Yes. Graham Colton, a good friend of mine, has been a musician his entire life, and we've been friends. We went to high school and to college together. And when we were both living in Dallas, live music was just like a huge part of our DNA. So we used to go to several shows a week, and he toured all over, and I'd tag along every now and then. We used to burn CDs in my apartment, and we'd ship them out to different like colleges to try to get them gigs. But at some point in our life, we both moved back to Oklahoma City, and that kind of live music DNA was missing. And, it was kind of a Passover state for musicians. People go Lawrence, Kansas or Kansas City, and then they, drive past us to get to Dallas and Austin and everywhere else.
Yeah.
So at first, it just started as a potential live music venue that we wanted to open. And we partnered with Fred Hall, who's also very passionate about music, really wanted to bring like a better live music culture to Oklahoma City. So we started looking at buildings. We partnered with the Halls on an amazing building that they had, in Film Row. They used to be part of the Model T assembly, the Fred Jones Ford assembly plant. And we quickly, like as I was building pro formas for this, we realized it's tough to have a live music venue that makes money. Programming, it would have to be like 300 plus events a year. And at that point, we were like, we're only getting maybe like one concert a month around here. So that's not going to happen. And so I had kind of a cocktail bar in my head that I had also been working on. And then we really wanted to add, a food piece to it. So it's like, okay, this is a giant building. It was 2 buildings actually. And let's put all those things together, food, spirits, and music. And that's when we really saw it develop. And then we're just like, how can we make this work? How can this kind of be a transformer of a space that can, have an indoor-outdoor stage, performance stage, be a restaurant full-time, but then that furniture can flip over and go under the stage when we want to do a 1,700-person concert.
Yeah.
So we luckily had an amazing architect, James Boswell out of Tulsa, who helped take all of our crazy ideas and actually make them function. We had never seen an indoor-outdoor stage before, and we were determined to do it just because, again, we missed the patio culture from living in other places, and that didn't really exist. And we thought we had this opportunity here to really create this amazing patio, which has taken on a life of itself at the Jones. So,
yeah. I mean, it is an amazing patio.
Thank you.
I remember the first time I walked in there, I was just like, what the, like it was really cool. It was something that, didn't exist. And just the way it was built out and everything, and then you can look into the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I mean, the whole layout of it and how it was constructed was really cool. So
thank you. That was actually that evolved along the way because it was 2 buildings, 2 warehouses, and part of the issue with patios in Oklahoma City is the wind comes sweeping down the plains far too often. And so we were like, what if we just take this roof off? Keep the structure, keep the walls, make this an outdoor space, but have the protection of 4 walls from the wind. Yeah. And so it's actually most of the year a place that you can kind of survive the elements, but still have an outdoor dining experience.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Man, that's cool. And then I know it's got the little tea room upstairs.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I didn't know about for a while, and then when someone told me about it, I was like, "What, really?" And so there's all these little like gems and nuggets that are kind of built into it. Is that part of like that brainstorming process of we're gonna do this and let's have this as well, or is that something that kind of takes a life of its own and you're like, "Oh, we can add this"?
We had always planned on doing the tea room, just kind of that like spirits. We really wanted to have a focus on like a large variety of spirits, have a great collection of spirits. And we wanted, like, with such a large space, to have a more intimate area where you could go and have, an intimate cocktail with a colleague or a date or whatever it was. The tea room, however, day one took on a life of its own, and the demand for that as an event space kind of took over that experience. So I would say 90% of the time during the week and the weekend, it's reserved for some sort of private event. So the times are kind of few and far between that we can execute the tea room as we initially sought out to be like its own hidden gem cocktail bar within a much larger restaurant and bar. But it's worked out great. I think we have like 500 some events a year, and it's the perfect space for, a bridal shower, rehearsal dinner, company meeting, board presentation. I mean, we've had all sorts of events up there. So now it's probably 90% of the time an event space, 10% of the time, this intimate cocktail bar.
If you're lucky, you can get in
there. Yes. I know we like joke that we need like a Krispy Kreme donut sign, like neon, that it's like tea room on, tea room off, so people can know when they, when they can go up there and have a cocktail.
A little hot and fresh sign.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the Jones, and I know the menu keeps changing, and I mean, the food's great. I feel like the Jones sometimes gets overlooked more as like a space as opposed to a restaurant. But I know there's a lot of thought given into the food as well, because one of my favorite things, and this is like probably the simplest thing on the menu, is that the trio with the wood-fired bread.
The dips and spreads.
I mean, the dips and spreads, you're hanging out on the patio, you're, playing some bags, and you're enjoying some freshly wood-fired bread with some great dips.
Yep.
And that's just like obviously one small portion of the menu.
Yeah. Well, it's been on the menu from the beginning, one of the few things. And that was kind of like, how do we have something that is reminiscent of what Oklahomans love, which is chips and queso? How do we have something that we can do in that format that is completely different? And I had actually been to Mission Chinese in New York City, in like 2015, 2016, and they did this amazing wood-fired dough. And that's what they served as their bread. And I was like, gosh, this is amazing. And I just found myself like ripping it apart. And I was like, how can we use that as a device? Which obviously a lot of food cultures use naan or pita as kind of the dipping device.
Right.
And we just were like, okay, how can we do this and, you know, do some fun Mediterranean flavors, but then also like make it Oklahoma. And then that's where the cheese came in, obviously, with the pimento cheese. So it's been a staple on our menu from the very beginning, and I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon.
You can't take it away.
Yeah, exactly. But you're right. I mean, we put a lot of effort into our food. I do think it gets lost sometimes in the customer perception of how hard we work on it because we have so much going on. And, you know, our anniversary party or a concert, you know, can be a lot sexier sounding than, you know, just your average dinner or brunch. But we flip our menu twice a year seasonally. We have 5 chefs on salary that, like, you know, work really hard to make sure that we can execute high quality food in the volume that we do. I don't think people realize, like, we can do 500 to 600 covers in a service, which is just crazy.
It's a lot.
And so so obviously like a 50 seat, you know, 25, 50 seat restaurant is a little bit easier to execute like high quality food. So our goal, and this is with everything we do, I mean, our craft cocktails, food, like we want to make it as consistent as possible, as high quality as possible in like just a crazy amount of volume, just from the sheer like size of the space.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have a lot of seats.
Yeah, because what is it, like 200 plus or something?
Yeah,
like
200
that, right?
plus. I think like 275 if every seat was,
Man.
you know, and oftentimes that flips 2 or 3 times during a service. So, yeah.
Just keeping everyone busy.
Yes, yes. We're trying to we've got over 100 people gainfully employed at that restaurant. So it's a big one. It's a big one.
That's huge. And I know you probably employ hundreds more across all the different concepts. All right, jump in concepts. Unless there's something we haven't touched upon on the Jones.
On the Jones, I mean, who knows what's in store? We've got, you know, our kind of motto is just continuing to evolve and continuing to create experiences. So, I mean, there's always surprises up our sleeve. So, you know, we just want to continue to be relevant and create great food memories for people in the city, and we'll continue to try and be better, you know, tomorrow than we were yesterday. So,
which keeps it going strong, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
I guess one thing, when you shut down the street or the little alleyway or however you call it, for the watch parties, and Froze all day and the big celebrations, is that like a big process to go through? Do you have to go through like any permitting through the city or things like that, or is it just it's just the Jones, they're gonna do this now?
There's a special event permit to close down the street. Luckily, our capital partners, Hall Capital, they developed the apartments around there as well as the Fortson Hotel, and they put a lot of their own capital into beautification of that street. So they've privatized it. So there is still a process. You still have to pay a fee and get an application to close down the street. And but luckily the city has been really great to us because of how much, you know, the Jones Assembly and Hall Capital have put into that area. We had the game 6 on Thursday night, and there was a line to get into the Jones all the way down Sheridan, and then it turned down Classen. And we were like, you know, there's 1,000 people in line that are never going to get in here to be able to watch the game. What can we do? And then Graham, just like Friday morning, got up immediately and started working on the permit, got it done in one day. And then so by Sunday, game 7, we had the street closed also.
Nice.
There still was a line down the street, but I think we got everybody in. So everybody that wanted to watch the game, and we rented another video wall. So we had 3 video walls, and it was just like a magical experience. I mean, like I was at the game, and it was incredible. Right after the trophy presentation, I ran back to the Jones just because I was seeing videos of what was going on, and I was like, this is amazing. So
you're like, I want to be there.
yeah.
No, that's cool. Hopefully we'll get a repeat this.
Yes, that would be great. I think the excitement going into next season is going to be even bigger than we could have imagined.
Yeah, no, that's great. All right, so let's talk about Spark.
Sure.
I personally just love burgers. I'm actually
Likewise.
I'm working on something where I'm doing sliders.
Oh, nice.
And so I just the burgers, and the onion burger. It's Oklahoma, like it's.
We love burgers.
We love burgers
around here. Yes, yes.
Why? And after we say we love burgers, I'm going to ask you, why do a burger place?
I'll tell you the first thing is, like, burgers can be heavy. And I think, like, what we created at Spark is maybe like a lighter, more well-rounded menu than your average, like, burger place. So we try to create a little bit more than a burger place. But the reason why we kind of created that concept, we talked about doing a burger concept for years, but Scissortail Park through MAPS 3, the Scissortail Park Foundation had put out a request for proposals from restaurant groups in Oklahoma City to do the restaurant at Scissortail Park. So I think in 2019, we proposed to their board, and they had asked to do like a kind of full service cafe similar to what they had done at Myriad Gardens with Park House. And we just came in and kind of flipped the script and said, we think this is what our downtown park needs, something that, appeals to everyone, that's fast, family friendly, affordable, like what park goers want to do. They can take it out into the park, or they can eat on our patio or eat inside. And so we kind of created this nostalgic concept that paired like fresh frozen custard with great cheeseburgers, and as well as like some active lifestyle food, like for park goers. Like we have a power bowl, like a grain bowl, acai bowl, and some other items. But I had loved fresh frozen custard growing up, and we traveled and researched Ted Drew's in St. Louis. We went to this thing called Scoop School to learn like the ins and outs of custard and the machinery used to make it, because it's a very different process than ice cream. I went to Milwaukee and went to Leon's, which is like Leon's and Ted Drew's are probably the two most famous frozen custard places. So we did our research, and what's more nostalgic than like burgers and ice cream and at the park. So and then obviously at some point down the road, we were chosen by the foundation to operate the restaurant there, and we've now been open almost 3 years, I think. 3 years? 4 years? Gosh,
time
yeah,
is a blur.
Time flies by. All I know is we were supposed to open in like May of 2020, and that didn't happen, so we opened the next year. So yeah, I think we're approaching our fourth year.
4 years, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's the real reason to do a food place, is all the research that you have to do.
Yes.
Right. Be like, oh no, I gotta go here and try this.
A lot of R&D.
Yeah.
A lot of travel, a lot of R&D. Two of my favorite things to do.
No, but that's cool. I mean, what an opportunity to get picked and launch Spark the way that it did. And then, the custard is, it's great.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We take a lot of people through Spark on our tours and
food tours. Yeah.
And everyone we go there for dessert. We did used to start there with the burger. And then we know when the farmer's market starts, we're like, okay, well, again, going back to like the experience and how the guests feel when they enter a space, they can't find parking. Yeah. And it's busy.
Yes.
And so we're like, okay, how about we make this the last stop as opposed to the first stop?
Yeah.
So we just kind of pivoted a little bit. But, you can get the custard as a shake. Mm-hmm. So that's always great. We always tell them about the fries, the pink sauce.
Yeah.
Or like the color from the beets. There's no food coloring.
Yes.
Their burgers are sourced. It's not just like it's just, attention to detail. And kind of as you went through describing things, I'm like, man, all of their concepts just have layers. You're like thinking about the next layer. Be like, okay, what can elevate the burger? Custard, shakes, whatever that is. So, no, that's really cool.
Thank you. Well, and one thing you said that I think we maybe don't tell the story enough or give ourselves enough credit for, but like we do use all natural flavors. So even with our custard, like the coloring, it might be turmeric, it might be annatto, it might be something that gives it that vibrant color, but we use natural coloring and natural flavoring. We have a partnership with a really great company called Green Mountain Flavors, and they help us come up with like the coolest colors, coolest colors and flavors. We've got one coming out next week. It's we're playing on nostalgia a little more and doing like a retro limited time offering. So we have like a Caesar salad, a wedge burger, but we're doing cherry cola custard.
Ooh.
And
okay.
I mean, it's really, really good. And we're doing it as a float. So it's like a cherry cola float.
Okay.
But again, that's all natural color and flavor.
Okay.
The custard.
I'm gonna have to clip this part out and just release it early so people can go try this.
Yes, yeah.
Because by the time I release this episode,
it all
I feel
will
like
be,
yeah. Because y'all do a new flavor every month.
Every month we do a flavor of the month, and we change some of those up each year as things have been more popular, or as flavors and tastes have evolved.
Yeah.
But then we also oftentimes like feature an additional, like we've done a banana split, we're doing like a moonbeam shake right now, and then we'll do this cherry cola. So there's always going to be 3 flavors: chocolate, vanilla, and whatever the flavor of the month is that month. And then occasionally within our limited time offerings, which we do 1 a quarter, there's some sort of frozen treat on there too. something
just a little extra.
Yes. Yeah.
And I know you're doing the same thing with burgers too, right?
Mm-hmm.
You put out limited time offerings for the burger or the style of burger that it is.
Yep.
And so there's always something new to check out at Spark. So
Definitely.
If you haven't had a burger and fries at Spark, go try them.
Go check it out. And we have three locations now. So our 2 newest locations just celebrated their year anniversary, one at Chisholm Creek and then one on 63rd and Western, just outside Nichols Hills.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then the original at Scissortail.
Yes. Yep.
Which, man, what you think of Scissortail Park, like Spark comes out in front because there's that sign in the front.
Yeah.
That's just really cool.
It is. That sign, it's become like part of the playground equipment at the park. I think we're like, please don't climb on the sign. But yeah, it's a cool looking thing.
No one's going to listen to that.
No. It's still standing at the moment. So.
Did you all do those concrete ping pong tables, or was that the park that
So interestingly enough, those were 2 pieces of art at the 21C Art Museum. And when it changed to now it's the Fordson Hotel and it's under the Hyatt flag, a lot of the art changed. I think there's some of the Fred Jones Museum of Art in there now, but they were no longer using those when they made like Pool Bar and Bodega. And they were basically like, if you can find a way to get these things out of here, they're yours. And I was like, oh, those will be perfect, at the park.
Yeah.
So it's often too windy to play, but they're there.
Well, there's also the bocce courts.
Yep, the bocce courts are there, yeah.
I don't think I've seen anyone play there.
So it's the same like composite granite that is all over the park. So it's not like the best for bocce ball, but what I'm trying to get to catch on is this game called Pétanque that they play like all over Europe.
Okay.
And it is played on that like that granite, or decomposed granite. So we're gonna have to get a few sets and put them out there, but they're these kind of little metal balls, and they work better on that surface. So
it's a similar style game.
Very similar. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to play that. I love bocce. We played in the backyard.
It's a good time.
From time to time. It's just fun.
It is. It's a blast.
Yeah. When the weather's nice, it's just out there hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What else you'll have? You have. Okay, so then we talked about you have Fuzzies. You got tons of locations for that.
Yeah.
and then Dave's Hot Chicken. I remember
Yeah.
when Dave's opened up, lots of people went wild.
Yes, the Bricktown location was open to a huge outpouring of customers. I mean, we had lines, I think, for weeks when we opened that location, and it's been a great concept for us. It was one that at the time, like in 2020, when they first contacted us, they had mostly locations in California. One of our colleagues in Fuzzies was getting ready to open some in Texas. So we just went out and we're like, okay, we'll go check it out. And at that time I just wanted our restaurants to survive. I wasn't looking to like develop more at the point, but we went and you could only like take it to go. And so we ate like outside on this like makeshift patio that they had at one of their locations in LA, and tasted it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is just like the best chicken I've ever had. We knew somebody was going to become positioned in the hot chicken space. And so really we just kind of researched their leadership and saw who they were hiring and who they were getting involved with, who they were allowing to become franchisees. And we felt like they were really poised to grow and become like the hot chicken, like own the hot chicken space. Right. I mean, because you had Hattie B's, but they had like 2 locations. And I think even now they maybe have like 10. But Dave's is up to like almost 300 locations Dave's now. Yeah. So anyway, it's been great for us. We have 4 locations, currently exploring opportunity for growth there. And then Fuzzies was a kind of a funny example. They were just in Texas, and it started like right by TCU campus.
Okay.
And they didn't have like massive expansion plans or anything, but they were interested in Oklahoma. So some guys from Fort Worth contacted us. We decided to do like a 6-month consulting gig with them to help them develop this market. We found them, helped find them a location, contractor, designed it, building them out. Then we're like, it was like probably like 45, 60 days in, they were like, no, we need you to partner. Like, we want you to become the developer for the whole state of Oklahoma, which we did. And it was such a concept that was like in its infancy stage. We were able to impact a lot of the direction of where Fuzzies went. So paint colors, there wasn't a bar menu, so we created the bar menu. We had, created the fish bowls and the margarita recipe. And so we got to have a lot of fun early on with that. And then, just continue to evolve that design and that brand as it went along. So
that's cool. So it's funny you mentioned that, because when Fuzzies first opened, I remember specifically going to the Bricktown one, and we'd go there, and we've been there a few times, and I always thought it was a local place.
Yeah.
And then, later I found out, I was like, oh, it's a franchise, Sure. But that's funny you said that, because you actually had an impact on how that grew and how it was formed and how it morphed.
Yes.
And so maybe that's why I was getting kind of like that local feel from it, is because people were actually like changing it and letting it, making it grow or evolving it. And so that's interesting.
And I think you can feel that hopefully in like most of our restaurants, even our Dave's, where we have like the least amount of flexibility, by like our murals and design choices we make, they feel like a little bit more local. And I think what like a common misconception is sometimes is, oh, franchises aren't local, but they're locally owned, locally operated,
everyone working
locally staffed, making an impact to the community. It's a different story when it's like a corporate location opening and their corporate office is somewhere else, and they bring in a team, from another state, and then they might hire a general manager or bring in a general manager. That's a very different story, which, no disrespect to that, I love that we have national concepts here as well. But I think there's not huge amount of differences between being a local franchisee owner and being a local concept owner, other than maybe you didn't fully create that identity.
And that small percentage that you got to pay for marketing.
Yes, yeah, yeah. The royalties.
The royalties.
Yeah. We do all the work and just feed the royalties. Yeah.
No, that I've had this conversation with a few people where they're like, oh yeah, but that's a franchise. I was like, yeah, but literally everything that they do is local.
Yeah.
Like everyone working there is local. All the money goes back locally.
Yes.
Like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's like a huge point. I mean, with us, our restaurants, franchised or our own concept, like we are so embedded in this community. And, you know, I think whenever there's an event or a fundraiser or benefit night or just any ask, I think anyone in the community, the natural place to go is a restaurant and ask for a gift card or ask for something, which is funny because oftentimes restaurants are the least able to do that because margins are so thin. But having the ties to the community and taking part in so much and trying to say yes every time we can, I think that's what really makes you a local brand and what makes your ties to the community so important. I just think like locally owned restaurants are really the heartbeat of communities. And oftentimes they're overlooked, I would say, for the impact that they can make to communities, and even just like not just as a place of like gathering or making memories, but taking part in all of those things I mentioned, events, nonprofits.
Yep.
Like I don't think there's any industry that gives as much of their time, work, and trade as much as restaurants do.
Yeah. It's a labor of love.
Yes.
Yeah. And talking about being involved in the community, I know Spark sponsored the marathon last year. Was it last year?
Yes, for 2 years we did. It was 2023 and 24, and we happened to be right there at the finish line, so which actually made it harder and made it more difficult to pull off.
Oh, really?
But yes, but each year we sponsored and donated 10,000 burgers to the finishers. But being right there, it was just logistically very difficult to execute that, and it actually, I think, we love being a part of the marathon. I'm on the board of the Memorial Museum. Mm-hmm. It's just an amazing staff, amazing organization, and just no better place to remember our history and what senseless acts of violence can do to communities. So we love being a part of it. We're supporting in new ways now. It just logistically is much more difficult than anyone could imagine to do that out of a tiny little kitchen.
I mean, you say 10,000 burgers. That's a lot.
Yes.
I mean, I can't even imagine pumping out 10,000 from any kitchen.
Yeah.
You know, like unless you're at a big commercial like kitchen making food for like an airline or something.
Yeah. It was a crazy task, and we will continue to find ways to be involved, but that one might have been too lofty. We tried it twice, and did
you tweak something?
We did okay. We did. Yeah. We cooked even more, and it still wasn't enough. And there's people that grab 3 or 4 burgers, and there's people that don't get their burgers, and then there's people that don't cross the finish line because they were in the relay or some other race, but then you have to pick them up at there's the fencing, and then there's people, trying to get in, and then we're trying to open the restaurant, like operate the restaurant too. So there was just a lot of logistical hoops that we could not overcome.
You tried.
Yes, we tried. We tried our best.
All right. So what's next for the Social Order?
So we have been almost 2 years now. We're working on a concept. It still hasn't been announced. Hopefully it will be announced later this fall. But we bought a building, I think in 21 or 22, early 22, on Main Street. It's going to be our latest concept that we create. It'll be lunch, dinner, as well as after hours. And we're really just trying to create even more energy on Main Street. I think like the energy that's happening downtown right now is so exciting. There's a lot of great food and beverage. I feel like kind of core downtown is just becoming a great scene for food and beverage.
Yeah.
Main Street is a little bit segmented now, so we really hope to kind of connect Main Street a little bit more. Our location is going to be walking distance to Paycom, Civic Center, Mirrored Gardens, the park, all of the major like events, and we want this place to kind of become a hub. We have been working with these amazing designers, interior designers out of Philadelphia, great architects here in Oklahoma City, branding company out of Austin that's doing an amazing job. And we have been working really hard on it. I think like the Jones Assembly was such a big project that kind of took us away from doing another big project, another like hugely aspirational project that makes like a major impact to the city, because that takes up so much of our capacity. But I think this will be our next like really, really big opening, and it's going to fill a gap that I think we have in Oklahoma City.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would tell you the name now, but we haven't announced it. We haven't finalized all of the branding yet, but it's going to be a fun one. Yeah.
All right. Looking forward to it. Gosh, I had something else in mind and it just slipped, because now I'm thinking about what's that going to be? Something, again, going back to like our local versus franchise conversation that we had, just to like show the impact. You said about 100 people by itself work at the Jones.
Yes.
And then you've got, all these other locations, 17 other places that employ hundreds more. So you're probably at like at least 500 people that work on your team.
Yes.
Right? And so
I think somewhere around 600 right now is where we're at.
Wow.
I kind of lost count after about 300, but just as we grow, our team keeps building, and it's really exciting.
Yeah. So like, I mean, that's one example of a great impact right there, whether it's a franchise concept or an original concept, like you're still employing people, contributing to the local economy. Was your goal when you first did your Texadelphia, was your goal, how far can we go? Or is it something that's kind of evolved as time has gone on?
I don't know that we opened that restaurant thinking we'll open 20 plus of these, or we'll open 20 plus of something. But I definitely think that I knew that was going to be the stepping stone to something bigger. And a couple years later, after we opened that, which I didn't mention, we opened up like kind of the bar of Campus Corner Norman, called 747. And it was sort of an institution in Norman for 15 years. But it's just like everything we opened was kind of a stepping stone to the next thing. Like 747 taught us how to do high volume beverage program. And although it's a very different beverage program than the Jones, I think we're able to do some of these insane volume things we do at the Jones now because of that experience. So I think each restaurant we opened kind of showed us what else we could do. And then somehow 20 years later, we just ended up where we are. And, we kind of grow when we feel like it's right to grow, and we pause when we feel like we need to refocus on our core. We've been in, we were in a growth period in 24, 25. We're kind of like a pause and maintain. And then I think 26 will be, another time to focus on growth.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that's cool. You're going to solidify what you have and make sure everything's still running the way you think it's working.
Definitely.
Running. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, right now I think like probably opening restaurants is as hard as it's ever been, with interest rates kind of double what they were when we opened restaurants 3 or 4 years ago. Construction costs 30 to 40% higher. So you're spending more. And then if you're doing any lending on that money, you're not only spending more, but you're paying more interest on that.
Right.
So it's turning into a little bit of a different model to make sure things work. So it's really finding the right opportunities, I think. Whereas it used to just be like, oh, I like that space. I like this location. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
And we had a very great model that we could do, and that worked until about 21, and times have changed. So,
well, that's why I'm only doing pop-ups.
yeah. We got to get the slider pop-up upstairs in the tea room.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I don't know when we'll do it. Nice. Anything else that any more insights you want to give into what's happening in the future? Anything we missed out on that people need to know about?
I think, right now we're just trying to continue to give Oklahoma City great places to go that they can find consistency, make, have a great experience, make memories. I think that this concept that I'm not really talking about has really taken up a lot of our creativity and planning, and we're super excited about it. So maybe I'll come back on and we can talk fully about that one, because I think it's gonna be the biggest opening we've seen in Oklahoma City in a long time.
For sure. Mike's always on for you.
Okay, great.
I just thought of that. I was like, door's always open. No, Mike's always on.
Mike's always on.
Well, and if you haven't done so yet, follow all the concepts at the Social Order, Jones, Fuzzies, Dave's, and Spark.
Yes.
Give them a follow so you know what that limited custard is, because I tell you every time I'm there, the next
join the Burger Club at Spark. Yeah, we got a great loyalty program.
Yeah. Join the Burger Club. I'm gonna just give a shout out to this custard, was the lemon
poppy seed. That's a favorite. Good. That's a fan favorite.
It was so good. I tried it all the different ways because I just happened to be there multiple times that month.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me try it as a shake. Can I get the custard with the cheesecake bites on top?
Bites on it, yeah.
Instead of in the shake? Yeah. I tried all the different ways.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. We really were getting inspired by the park as we were creating a lot of these flavors. And I think the month we were creating them, the daffodils were out at the park and we're like, oh, we got to do a yellow custard, lemon poppy seed. And then the lavender started coming out in the fall. So we did lavender honey. And so it's just fun to kind of get inspired by your surroundings and make them, unique to the space.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of just that little local, the local flair.
Yeah.
Right? That. Yeah. That's great. I also really enjoyed the playoff bracket.
You get to try them all in a 2-week period. Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun too. So.
Yeah. That one is not the easiest to execute because we're predicting which one is going to advance. And so, but it's fun. And I think it emphasizes how many different flavors that we do throughout the year and gives people a chance to understand that we do a flavor of the month. So, yeah.
Were you able to predict correctly?
Cookie butter usually always wins. I mean, it's kind of unfair. Yeah. But I was pushing hard for pistachio, and then we had a new flavor that did pretty well, the chocolate covered banana. But I don't know why it doesn't seem like cookie butter can ever be taken down.
I mean, you got the Biscoff cookies.
Yes,
and can't go
hard
wrong
to beat.
That.
I know. Vanilla custard and Biscoff, cookie butter and cookies. It's pretty tough to beat.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so go give Spark a follow so you know what the next flavor is going to be. And while you're out there, give us a follow as well, OKC Foodcast. Again, a quick thanks to our sponsor, Vault 405, for providing this great space. If you're looking for a co-working space, just for a day, for a month, forever, check out Vault 405 here in downtown Edmond. You can get a desk, you can get an office, they've got great amenities like this podcast room, a meeting room, coffee in the lobby. It's great. So check out Vault 405 for your co-working needs. thanks again for taking the time and coming on the pod and talking about everything the social order.
Yeah, thanks
I know
for
we
having
could have
me.
probably talked for much longer
Yes.
about all the food and everything that y'all are doing, but we'll have you back on when
Awesome.
the new concept opens up.
That sounds great.
Awesome.
Count me in.
Awesome. All right. Until next time, eat well and be happy.